Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and you might notice I am not in Airwindows anymore. I am back in Canada, but I'm going to still try to give you a plugin. Now things are going to be a little chaotic. I'm under the weather, and hopefully I can bounce back from all the insanity of the travel. But hey, I think you can still do this. But what I mean by that is you can actually do this. Because this is Airwindows BigAmp. Now the funny thing about that is this doesn't necessarily sound like a BigAmp. This is one of your weird kind of Airwindows things where it is very flexible. It does a whole bunch of things. For instance, I'm showing you the picture of it on the track called Chug Along. And you can see we've got this wild tone control, and we've got gain. But hey, we can also put that on a bass. And if we crank the tone all the way up on the bass, you can't hear anything anymore. And of course we have our dry wet. So you can use BigAmp to enhance all kinds of little things about a sound. Let's bring that guitar back. Oh, hey, no, that's something else entirely. Just a moment. There we go. And this is the dry sound of that particular instrument. More about that later. So this becomes kind of your one-stop shop for vaguely amp-like, immediate and direct, but wildly flexible Airwindows kind of guitar, amp, etc. tones. But hey, there is more, because I did mention that there was something that I could do here. Now that's a decent sounding drum kit, right? What if we did this? So BigAmp is barely even like an amp, honestly. It has a lot of range of weirdness that you can do with it. It acts almost more like one of those Z filters that I did. Here we have only hats. So if we wanted to boost the hats even more than that is, we could do this. Or we could pull the tone down. For this kind of really aggressive sound. You could probably also put this on voices for telephone sounding effects. and back to meanwhile, I'll move this out of the way. Here we have one where the bass is heavily distorted and the guitar is just all the highs. Or we can do the opposite. There you have it. So this is kind of the same as the previous couple of plugins as far as the amp sims are concerned. It's doing that thing where it'll give you an amp-like distorted character, but it will also let you make it far more flexible than anything that was designed to be like a real literal amplifier. So this might be useful for somebody who's doing, say, electronic genres. I'm not demonstrating it with electronic genres, but you know, that kind of stuff, samples and just doing weirdness, doing heavy, dirty weirdness and wanting to take it and swoop it around and do strange things with it. These amp sims are from sort of way back in the day, and I'm bringing them back out so people have them as tools for doing stuff with. The samples I'm demonstrating them with are another thing that's going to be coming out pretty soon, because the deal is everything that you hear here should become, forgive the helicopter that's coming by. Again, I am on the road. I am not back in Airwindows home anymore, so I gotta kind of wing it. Hopefully I'm going to get up to speed on my production stuff so that I have something working and functional. I'm gonna have to, because I'm gonna have to put out a bunch of things, because you're gonna start to get these sample sets as well, and they will be Creative Commons, and you will be able to have them and do things with them just like you are with the open source audio plugins. And I wish I could put the plugin on this passing helicopter. That would be kind of cool. The reason there's helicopters is because we're fairly near a tiny little airport, and we are so far up in British Columbia. You know, they talk about like, oh, Canadian healthcare is wonderful. Yeah, that's if you can get to it. We're kind of practically all the way up in the Yukon and stuff. It's crazy far away from anything. And as such, the helicopters serve a purpose, and I'm not going to be able to get rid of them. So you might be hearing more helicopters as I do more of these videos. But I'm going to keep doing them. And all of this stuff is supported by Patreon. I hope to bring more out. I'm going to be doing further plugin making here. Although, again, I hasten to point out I don't get paid here, so I will have to return home to America and sort of replenish and be able to come back. But I can program the plugins here, and so I can listen to what people might want and go with that. And as of today, which is relatively few days after an epic journey on planes, trains, and automobiles, just about all of which broke or failed or got canceled in the middle of the excursion, I'm still able to put out a plugin. So again, I hope that my production is that I can hold it together while being out here. I mean, I'm in a situation where, in theory, I could be making these videos in the middle of a field. And maybe I'll try that at some point. But for now, I hope you enjoy BigAmp, and I'm looking forward to getting some of this sample stuff ready to go. Maybe not what you're hearing today right away, because I've got a bit of a backlog for that, but that's all to the good, because it means I'll put out new things, and there'll be a lot of stuff coming. For now, I will catch up with you folks later. I hope you like BigAmp. Again, I can't even tell you that this is supposed to be about a particular amp. Stuff like GrindAmp obviously sounds kind of Mesa-y or whatever, and MidAmp sounds kind of Fender Twinny. This one just kind of does all the things. It's the most flexible, and it sounds the least like anything reality-based. And with a bit of luck, it'll still be handy. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.